I like Kelly versus Bakhram. Like right now, I'm siding with Joshua Kelly, and up until we get there, I've talked about the stylistic matchup. I've talked about the pros and cons. I've talked about their strengths. I'm probably one of the rare YouTubers who isn't sold on Bakhram Murtazaliev. I don't believe Murtazaliev is the boogeyman. I have to see more. He looked good against Tim. That was a long time ago. It almost seems like 5 years ago. It was a while ago. I don't know, man. I think Josh Kelly is going to be better than what people think. Josh Kelly's bigger than what people think. He's faster. He's strong. His reflexes. We know what we get with Josh Kelly. I think that people threw him away for the draw against Ray Robinson. Shout out to Ray Robinson. Ray Robinson's fighting Michael Fox. They just announced that fight news. You know where boxing heads when we're talking about Michael Fox versus Ray Robinson. Ray Robinson is a very tough Philly guy. Those in the know how good Ray Robinson is. Joshua Kelly a couple years ago went on a plane for the first time to fight in the U.S. in Madison Square Garden, and he fought a very tough, gritty veteran in Ray to a draw. People, the casuals, thought that that was like just as worse as like Mike Tyson getting stopped against Buster Douglas, so they just threw Kelly away. And then when Kelly ran out of gas against Avanesian, a few fights later, you guys talk shit about Ava. David in his prime is world class. David in his prime, the only fighters who really got one over on him were Boots and Bud. Other than that, Ava in his prime is a really high level fighter. And Kelly was winning rounds early until he ran out of gas. And it's something that I always talk about at the world level. If you have holes in your game, if you have flaws in your game, whether it's a jab or the lack of an efficient gas tank. The last place you ever want to learn that lesson is on the world stage. You never want to be a fighter at the world level and be sort of quote unquote found out about on the world level in front of everyone. You want to kind of learn those lessons in the gym to where you make adjustments. And unfortunately for Josh, he had to learn that lesson against Avanesha in front of the whole world. He made adjustments. You know, all the fights after that, you saw a lot. You've seen, you know, even in the Troy Williamson fight, there were he still has that flashy Josh Kelly style, but he was much more defensively sound. You know, hasn't been as active as we wanted him to be. We thought he'd be super active by now at this stage of his career. I think he turned over when in 2016, 2017 he turned over, and I thought he'd be fighting for world titles by now. I followed his amateur career. I've watched his pro career. I think people are sleeping on Josh Kelly. I do. And I'm not sold on Murtazaliev. It's another one of these fights. We're probably going to get Joshua plus money. And I have no problem breaking it down, analyzing, losing money, betting on Josh. It's called gambling for a reason. You know what I mean? I'm betting on the fact that we are going to see the culmination of an entire fighter's potential at his best performance. That's what we're banking on. You know what I'm saying? So if you're like me and you're banking on Josh Kelly, you're banking on the momentum he took from, you know, that first round knockout against Flavio Bea. You're banking on that momentum he took from all the wins he had since the Avanesian loss. And everything's been put together, and you're going to see this sort of culmination of the guy that everybody thought he was going to be. And that's what I'm banking on. It's going to be fun. It's a great question sent from Pet. California Demo. What's up, Johnny? First time catching you live. I watch your videos. It randomly popped up on my feed. Got him in. Your takes are seriously valid. Won a couple bets. Yoke and knockout. California Demo, man. Appreciate having you here, brother. We are a community. We're growing. We don't always agree. Look, boys, we don't always agree, which is the best part of us. My favorite thing about my channel, my favorite thing about our Discord is there is discourse. This isn't an echo chamber. I'm not going to give you a take, and if somebody doesn't believe it, they're not going to keep their mouth shut because they're worried about getting attacked. No. So, dude, we bring on the boys to debate. So, it's that's by trade. When I was growing, and we're currently growing our channel, my whole goal was to create an open discussion about the best sport in the world that wasn't an echo chamber. So we don't have to agree on everything. There's a way to disagree, but doing it with facts, research, education, and not doing it mean spirited. And that's what we're doing. We got so many good fights. Teofimo versus Shakur's coming up. Ebony Bridges, that Tim fight feels so long ago. It does. Look up Josh Kelly odds. Let's do it. Yeah, this is kind of what I expected, guys. 3-1. I went 3-1 dog. 100 on him gets you your money back plus 300. Exactly a 3-1 dog. This is everything. This has everything to do with Murtazaliev and how he looked against Tim Tszyu. This has everything to do with the casual and sort of, maybe casual is the wrong word, the mainstream boxing media. You go to all these bigger channels. I just hit 27,000 subs. I'm talking the channels with over 100,000 subs. They're going to be talking about Murtazaliev like he's the boogeyman. This is why those odds are the way they are. You watch Murtazaliev's film study and tape, he has a lot of holes in his game. He moves on straight lines. He gives his opponent both shoulders. I've seen him fade before. I've seen him hurt to the body before. Josh Kelly, man, he's a big he's like I said, when we're going to see the weigh-ins. Josh Kelly's going to be bigger than you guys think. Murtazaliev is about, I think he's listed about 6'1". I think Kelly's listed about 6 feet. This fight's at 54 though. So Kelly carries a lot of muscle. He's gonna have to definitely be aware of his style. He's gonna make sure, he better not waste too much against Murtazaliev. The last place you want to be in a fight is a guy who's fading mid to late rounds against a puncher like Murtazaliev. I think that Kelly's fight IQ, though, and his athleticism and his reflexes and his speed, the jab, I think the jab could this is an exciting fight. And you give me Kelly at 3-1. I love that all day. Realistically, like skill for skill, I think this is a 50-50 fight. This is crazy. Kelly's a 3-1 in my opinion. I understand why, based on everything I just said, because of how many people can even pronounce Murtazaliev's name. You know what I'm saying? So the average boxing fan, they're relying on these big major boxing forums to tell you about who these guys are. I'm telling you about who these guys are. This is a 50-50 fight. This is an exciting fight. Let's pull up Murtazaliev's box rec. (23-0), 17 knockouts. I'm not, by no means am I saying that he's a bum. This dude's a world champion for a reason. So he's 5'11", 74-inch reach. Only has 104 pro rounds. Not the most active guy. Not a lot of people are, people are going to say he's been getting, people have been ducking him. I disagree. I don't think he's been healthy. The rumor on the street is he hasn't been healthy. He's been trying to get healthy, and you would think after this long out, he's healthy now. I mean, he went life and death with Jack Colque. Watch the Colque fight. I know you guys are going to tell me that was during Ramadan. I get all of it. But what fighter goes into any fight healthy? You know what I'm saying? If you guys are fighters, if you're friends with fighters, or even if you're fans of fighters, the one thing that you know is no fighter goes into any fight 100% healthy. All of these men are carrying something into that ring with them. Jack Colque and Murtazaliev went life and death.